Hello, hello. Oh my gosh, my dogs decided to go bark. Hi, welcome to Real Life with Jill Matthews. Hello, everybody. How is everyone doing this evening? It is Work It Wednesday, and we are here to share a little fun. I hope y'all are all snuggled up somewhere fabulous, like in your couch with your fuzzy slippers on and your favorite beverage. I'm still trying to power through my gazillion gallons of water that somebody told me was a good idea. But anyway, so I am excited to be with you tonight. My name is Jill Matthews. I'm a national director with Mary Kay. So welcome to my home and welcome to an opportunity to hear a little bit more about our pink world. And so this is called Peek into Pink. And I've got the distinct pleasure tonight to just be Oprah for just a minute. I've always wanted to be Oprah. And so I get to do that tonight. I'm going to interview one of my great friends. Her name is Lisa. And I'm going to tell you all about her. But she is going we're just going to have a little conversation, just a chat and a conversation. And I hope that you learn a little. I hope that you just get a little window into our Mary Kay world. And if it's a business opportunity you want to pursue, we would love to have you part of our team. If it is just something that you go, you know what, that's great information, I'm going to digest that for another time. Or if you say, you know what, I know somebody that would be awesome at this. Whatever you decide to do with it, we are just glad you're a part of our group tonight. And we've got lots of beauty consultants on the line. We've got some of our esteemed leaders that are working with us tonight and helping us keep all the questions answered. And so we've got a whole team of people. I've got my graphic artist that is making sure this goes off without a hitch. I've got my BFF and my personal assistant that is digesting all the information to make sure that we answer everyone's questions and address anyone's concerns. But I just want to say thanks for being on with us. And so we want to give, number one, some of you were offered some, whether it's a free Starbucks or whether it was a free lip gloss or something, for just spending your quick little moment this evening with us. And so we want to make sure we give you your free gifts because we're all about giving the free gifts. So if you're an esteemed guest on the line tonight, I just want you to find your comment section, whether you're on Facebook or whether you're on YouTube. Find your comment section. Just share your name and who invited you. That's going to go ahead and register you and make sure that you get the freebies you were promised for being on tonight. So we want to make sure that you get all the goodies coming your direction. So tonight is all about an education. I'm very excited to be interviewing Lisa. So before we jump in and get started, I just want to let you know that this is just going to be super conversational. We in Mary Kay don't believe in doing any more than just influencing. I mean, literally, we just want you to learn. And if it feels like a good fit, you're going to know it. And if it doesn't, you're going to know it as well. But one of the things that we love to share is just a few quick little facts about Mary Kay that you may or may not know. Now, in our new world, and it's what I'm calling it right now, I'm not going to call it a new normal. It's just new. I don't think it's going to be normal ever. But in our new world, one of the things that we have seen is a huge rise up and support of small businesses. So you just being on the line tonight is supporting a small business because your beauty consultant is running a small business, and your support of her tonight is vital. It's very, very important. So we want to say thank you so much for supporting a small business. You're not buying, an executive a fifth vacation home or a yacht or anything like that. You're probably putting braces on teeth or, little Johnny football pads for the football season or whatever. So you're doing something that's really, really meaningful to somebody in your community. So we want to say thank you for purchasing our products. And if you choose to join us, we want to welcome you to owning a small business. The second thing that I always like to share is Mary Kay is all about getting cute for a cause. And so we are very, very passionate about what we do in the business, because we impact so many different lives. Whether people join just for a little side hustle money, or if they're like me, and this is how I fed my family for the last 30 years. And so I've been the breadwinner for my family for a lot of years. And so Mary Kay isn't just a side hustle for me. It is absolutely my life's work. And so no matter what you're considering, we want you to know there's a multitude of different levels. I always say we have a Mary Kay business in small, medium, and large, really just whatever is good for you. And then the last thing I want to tell you is when you purchase Mary Kay products, and when you work for a company like Mary Kay, you're supporting an American-made product and an American-owned company. And so we love that huge right now. So that is a huge, huge mission. I think we should all have that mission, to buy as many U.S. products as possible. So we just want you to know that those little cornerstones of our business, even though Lisa and I are not going to necessarily talk about those things, we want you to know that you can have pride in knowing that you also are affiliated, whether you're just a customer or if you choose to become a consultant, you're affiliated with a company that is super, super passionate about empowerment of women. And we give back to lots of women's organizations. We support three main things, and that is cancers that have affected women and families that have been affected by cancer. We also have a foundation that helps with women that have been affected by domestic violence. And so that is super, super important to us. And we are an extremely passionate green company. So those are just some fun, fast facts that I wanted to start off with, just so you can kind of get your sea legs around you. And if any of those things tickle your fancy, great. And if not, it was just good information. But I want to not take any more time, and I want to introduce you to my good friend, Lisa. Lisa and I have known each other for several years, and I have the distinct honor of working with her on a literally weekly basis. And so I want to introduce her real quick. Her name is Lisa Reimer. Lisa is a future executive senior sales director with Mary Kay. And she's been building her business for 20 years. Now, she only looks 25, so they must have let her in earlier than me. I don't know how that happened, but 20 years she's been building her business. She has had 10 beautiful, flashy, free is the key word in this sentence, free cars. And I love telling Lisa's story. She's got three of the most beautiful boys. I know a lot of people say beautiful girls, but these are three of the most spectacularly engineered humans I've ever seen. I mean, they're just beautiful, and they're beautiful on the inside too. So her boys are 22, 20, and 14. So one of them wasn't even on the planet when she signed up with Mary Kay. One of them may have been in the oven, I don't know. And one of them was a small child. So Lisa, welcome. I'm glad you're here tonight.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm so excited I get to play Oprah. I kind of wish I had a white couch or something, or like a DJ, but I don't have either of those things. Well, I do have a white couch. I should have maybe thought about that. That would have been fun. But I wanted just to start tonight and just ask a few questions for our beauty consultants and for our guests listening. And I would love I'm just going to ask you some fun questions. So just off the cuff, just share with us a little bit about your story. So when you were a little girl, when we were little girls singing in our hairbrush, what was your big girl dream that you wanted to grow up? And, what did you want to do when you started adulting? If there's such a thing, I don't think we ever wanted to adult. So what was your little girl dream when you were at home singing in your hairbrush?
Well, goodness, I guess when I was little, I wanted to be somebody famous, but that clearly didn't happen. And I loved performing on stage, like singing. I was in lots of different acting and musicals and things like that. I know that I didn't want to become a doctor like everybody else in my family. So I wanted to be a good mommy and be able to be a stay-at-home mom, but also provide income because I had seen coming from a home of, a whole family of physicians, that there just wasn't a whole lot of time that I mean, it's just how it is. I mean, very well provided for financially, but my dad just wasn't able to be there a lot because he was working 24/7, night and day. So I just, yeah. Sometimes I thought I wanted to be an attorney, but that was kind of more like a thing that my parents were, kind of suggesting, because you got to be like somebody successful.
Yeah, what their perception of successful was. Very, very good. Well, now, Lisa, you have a great story. So talk to us just a little bit. So that was your little girl dream. Talk to us a little bit about what attracted you to Mary Kay. What made you go, I think I want to do this? Or maybe what were you doing before that made you go, there's got to be something better out there for me? And Mary Kay kind of showed up. Talk to us about that.
Okay, so I'll tell you a little bit about just my story in general, because in a million years, had I ever thought that I would be anything like a Mary Kay, I'd be a Mary Kay consultant. That is absolutely no way, no how did I ever think that. If you would have even told me a week or even a day before I signed my agreement, that you would have bet me $1,000 or $100,000 that I would actually become a Mary Kay consultant, I would have lost a lot of money. Because clearly that wasn't what I had in mind. But I was introduced to the products back when I was in college. And remember, I said I like to be on stage. I was actually in the Miss Texas pageant, believe it or not. It was a long time ago. But I remember it very distinctly because my sponsors in the pageant told me that I needed to be on a really good skincare regimen. And that lady happened to be a Mary Kay consultant. So she sold me the basic skincare set. And so I was 21 years old at the time and in college, and I really ended up liking the skincare. And if you fast forward, I graduated, I got married, got a corporate job. And when I was 25, I had lost that consultant because she just kind of disappeared. And she's lost a lot of money by now. So I was introduced to another consultant. And I wasn't looking for her at all. She came after me. And she told me right off the bat about the Mary Kay opportunity and how much money you could make and the personal growth and the girlfriends and the tax breaks. And I honestly heard none of that whatsoever. I just wasn't interested. And I basically told her, talk to this hand right here, talk to the hand. That I would never sell Mary Kay in a million years. But what I did hear her say was 50%, like that I would get a 50% discount on my own products. So I became what I kind of call a personal savvy shopper, where I purchased for myself and my mom. And I was undercover FBI for like 7 years. Nobody knew. I was a Secret Service Mary Kay agent.
Undercover agent. Yeah.
So I did that for 7 years. And then what happened, it really was a God thing, because sometimes God has a completely different plan for yourself than what you have. And after 7 years of being this FBI personal savvy shopper, Mary Kay, the business and the opportunity, became my plan B in case I ever needed a plan A, because my husband, out of the blue, we found out that he had a very serious heart condition and had to basically have an emergency open heart surgery. And he was only 36 and he almost passed away. So what happened was I had a 2-year-old and a 3-month-old. Yeah. And I needed a side gig, because if anything happened to Troy, I didn't want to just be what I was, I needed to be like a stay-at-home mom. So I came into Mary Kay for the discount, but like you said, it's given me the use of 10 career cars, 2 of them being pink Cadillacs, undeniable sisterhood, community income that allows me all kinds of choices, choices that I love, like travel, and paying cash for 2 of my boys' colleges and 1 coming up. So I'm going to go on. I could go on and on, but I'm not going to. But basically, when I signed my beauty consultant agreement 27 years ago, I had no idea what God had in store for this journey that I've been on.
Isn't it amazing how he works all things together for good? Even the smallest little decisions to buy wholesale turned into a really, really, really good decision for you and your family. And just FYI, Troy's fine. and she kept having babies. So life is good. Well, now joining Mary Kay and moving to a top 1% of our company and being part of our leadership team, now that's a big jump. So what kind of attracted you to not just retailing the product, but seeing your, that's interesting. That's very interesting. So seeing yourself move to a leadership position, I mean, kind of what kind of turns you on about inspiring other women?
So we weren't independently wealthy at all. And when he did have that open heart surgery, I immediately went from personal savvy shopper to wanting to be in a leadership position, because I actually ended up going to the Mary Kay seminar, which I don't know if many of you have heard about, but it's a huge big event that happens every year with thousands of women. But right now that's not, we're doing it virtually. But anyways, I went. I didn't want to go. Actually, wild horses couldn't have drugged me there before. But of course, again, my very pleasantly persistent recruiter told me I should go. And so when I went, I saw, oh my gosh, all different kinds of women in Mary Kay, different ages, sizes, races, from all different walks of life. It did not matter. Some had a high school degree, some had like doctor, DDS, MD, PhD behind their name, and or somebody with a GED. It just didn't matter. Like, everybody was so incredibly different. And the women at the top that I saw speaking from the front, not that I desire to speak from the front, but they were so confident and so incredibly powerful. I wanted that. I was an insecure little girl, and I wanted to achieve those things and also achieve the income that I heard them speaking about. So that's what you asked, right? So basically, so after going to that seminar, within 1 year, he had his heart surgery. I went to the seminar, and then I went, and then my recruiter said, I said, I want this. I want to be that crazy Mary Kay lady, but without her actually being like people think that I'm crazy. They run away from me and stuff like that. So I said, can you teach me how to do that without being, somebody that people run away from, like that they don't lose my friends and all those sorts of things. And she said, absolutely, if you're teachable and coachable. And she said, was I ever that way? And I said, no, I love you, girl. I love you, Leisha. So she just, I just actually did what she said. And within the year, I'd earned our car. And I just knew that leadership was where God had called me to be. But there's so many different places in Mary Kay for you to play. You can just get, like you were talking about, that extra ballet lesson money, or music lessons, or trips, the family trips. But I've always loved helping women look and feel better about themselves. And I realized that being in that 1% would give me more opportunity to actually walk that out.
Yeah, more influence. So I'm kind of giggling because it sounds like you had some preconceived ideas of what Mary Kay ladies looked like, what they did, how they acted. I think I've already kind of picked up on some of your preconceived ideas. And I think a lot of people have preconceived ideas about what is a Mary Kay lady look like? What does she act like? So talk to me about where did you see that change? Was it the seminar where you saw really, really sharp women? Was it literally where we don't teach to stalk and attack or anything like that? Where did your perception start to change?
Well, it was when I went to seminar, because when I was in, I think my very first encounter with Mary Kay I was probably around 10 years old, and I went to one of those parties, that in-house parties where the consultant says, I was with my mom. I was so excited because I got to go and be with her. And like, they had when they used to have those pink compacts and you pour the water for the eyeshadow. Yeah. So that was my first, and I was excited, but I thought it was like for old ladies. And at that time, when you're 10 years old or you're 16 or 18, anybody over 30 is an old lady. And then in high school, one of my friends, her mom drove a really large, long pink, what's it called, bubble pink Cadillac, and so that's kind of where those preconceived notions came from. But when I went, I mean, honestly, truly, it all changed when I went to seminar, and man, I mean, Mary Kay women are some of the cutest, finest, funniest, sassiest, most knowledgeable women that I mean, just sisters that I want to be around, you know. As they say, iron sharpens iron, and so it's just been a huge benefit. So that's not really what you asked, but yeah.
I think it's really funny when people say you're in Mary Kay, or you know, when we're around other people, we hear that all the time. And I'm like, yeah, this is the real deal. I think it's so fun to see our preconceived ideas literally morph into, these are the women we want to emulate. These are the women we want to be more like, and we want to have more characteristics like them instead of less like them. So I think that's an interesting take. So after you became a sales director, talk to me about your journey, because I know you worked as an office manager for doctors and you wanted out of that. But talk to me about your journey as you joined Mary Kay. What were some things that you really enjoyed and you leaned into, and what were some things that you had to maybe develop some skills or kind of work through?
Oh, I didn't have any skills. I didn't have any. I mean, okay. So, because it's kind of a double question. When I became a sales director, I did still stay in that 30 to 35 hour a week job. I mean, and so I was a sales director, and during that time, that top 1 to 2%, we still earn the use of 4 career cars. So some people say, "Oh, I've got a full-time job," and everybody's different, of course. But I've done this business with little kids all the way to, you know, the ages that they are now, and so you can definitely do this business, you know, any which way you want, and even with a full-time job. I mean, we earned those cars. My unit helped me earn those cars, having almost a pretty much full-time job, and I had that job for 10 years. I mean, if I look back on it, I would have done it differently, because by the time I had number 3, I was like, I'm out of here. I am not doing this. Is like I had a baby, right, like much like Jill, like before, you know, big 4-0, and no, your energy is gone. So and the thing about it is that when I did walk away from that job, even though I had baby number 3, that's when we immediately earned our first pink Cadillac. So yeah, that's kind of and then you said, what are some things that I've grown into? I can definitely tell you that my confidence and boldness is, you know, my husband will say it's changed. I'm like cutting off my sentences, but it's changed completely. My husband will say, "Man, I wish you could have known Lisa way back when, before she started Mary Kay, because she is different." I used to think that selling was kind of like a kind of a bad lower type of thing, and it's really not about that at all. It's about sharing, like sharing our products, sharing how great they are. I mean, I use everything head to toe Mary Kay 100%. So I even had some people whisper to me before, "Are you really wearing Mary Kay? Are you really?" Yes, absolutely everything. So I think the biggest thing was, in my mind, I thought I was going to have to sell something, and really, I'm not. I'm just so like here, you want it, you don't, great. I mean, you look fabulous, sister, but it's not about selling, it's about sharing. So I would say that those two things are basically the biggest changes or things that I thought was a negative.
Yeah, really I totally agree. Okay, so you've driven free cars, you've traveled with Mary Kay, you've earned diamonds from Mary Kay, Cinderella gifts from Mary Kay. Talk to me. What's your favorite things? If you were just going to say, these are 3 or 4 of my favorite things, whether they're tangible, I pick some tangible ones, but what were some of your favorite things that you've earned because of your Mary Kay business?
I would say the Mary Kay sent several of us October 2019 on a Bahama cruise. Paid for the ticket. For us, like my husband and myself, went with other Mary Kay girlfriends.
Whole boat full.
A whole boat full, yeah. Like the whole boat was us. I mean, so they paid for our drink package, our food, our airline tickets. That was great. You know, when you can take your man on a trip and they're impressed. And then I would honestly, because I wanted to be that at-home mom where I was completely hands-on and what you call helicopter mom. I know that God gives you these children for a certain amount of time. And I wanted to be able to have income that would provide us to be able to go on trips anywhere. And they're spoiled rotten, I know, because we've been every year, like we go someplace phenomenal. They love it. They know that Mary Kay income is paid for it. And they're like, oh, Mom, this place is nice, you know? So I would say probably the travel and the personal growth. I mean, so that's one tangible reward. And then the other one being the personal growth as a person. And I know that sounds so contrite or maybe something easy to, but it's true. I mean, I would say that besides my decision to have Jesus as Lord of my life, Mary Kay has made the second biggest difference in my life as far as who I am, who I'm becoming, and and for those around me that I meet and that I'm able to maybe touch their life in some small way. It's just you know, it's so heartwarming and it makes you feel so good. And my husband, he's an attorney, and the other night we were talking and he said, at least you love what you do. So he said it brings you joy. And, you know, whenever we forget to be grateful, and he was just reminding me that. He said, you love what you do and it brings you joy.
Wow. There's so many people that can't say that. There's so many people that can't say that for sure. Well, let's see, what else good question could I ask? Do you feel like your kids have benefited from you being a entrepreneur? And I know this wasn't one of my questions and you're probably going to kill me, but literally, I don't know why my computer keeps doing that, but tell me, in what way, if there's any fun little story, something besides the trips maybe that your kids have got to see you work, maybe win, maybe even lose. What are some of those lessons that you feel like you've passed on? Because, you know, I agree with you. Our ability to raise up the next generation that's a lot of weight on our shoulders. And especially when you have boys, because you're like, I'm creating the next leaders for their generation. And I want to make sure I'm doing a good job and I'm teaching them the right stuff and, you know, making sure they get things. And so what do you feel like your boys would say about your business and how it's impacted the family?
I think that they would say that it's taught them confidence. I mean, they are not lacking for self-esteem or confidence at all. I mean, it's kind of crazy, weird. One of in fact, my youngest, for example, last year, he's 14 now, but last year, I asked him, I said, are you sitting, or have you seen Thomas? Have you seen Thomas this year? And he's at lunch, and he said, no, Thomas sits with the popular kids at the popular table. And I said, oh, you don't sit at the popular table? He said, no. And I said, well, does that bother you? He said, not at all. Like, they don't care necessarily, you know, they don't find their worth on that. Mm-hmm. And then they've learned goal setting. And this is another little funny story, but my middle son, who's 20 now, when we earned our first Cadillac, like I truly did not believe that it could happen. I was depending on the ladies that I work with you can't do it by yourself. You might be the head, but you're not the shoulders and the hands and the feet. You work together as a unit and as a group, and a leader is only as good as her support.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of like, what's going to happen? And so the very next morning, I don't know if Brendan was 10 or what, but I went into the kitchen. I still remember like it was yesterday. And he said, Mommy, I said, well, we earned our first pink Cadillac. I said, I just can't believe it. And he said, oh, Mommy, of course you did. That was just the devil sitting on your shoulder telling you couldn't do it. You should never listen to that devil sitting on your shoulder. So it's just the little things like that,
Yeah, it's not what's caught, it is what's taught. I mean, it's not what's taught, it is what's caught, for sure. Well, both, really. It's really both. But yeah, you've got some amazing young men that you're raising them up the right way, and they're getting to see. I bet you they love and respect women pretty. I mean, I bet you they're pretty respectful of the female.
They better be. My middle one, we're still working with him a little bit, but it's just his personality. But I slap him around.
That's still allowed. You're still mom. Well, I'm going to ask you one last question, and then I'll let you kind of off the hot seat. But I would love for you to share why you feel like right now, in this crazy world we're living in our new world, as I said, I'm not going to call it new normal because there's nothing normal about it. In our new world, with this business opportunity, why would somebody that's listening tonight, why would they be interested, and why is now such a great time to join our company?
So I don't remember the exact statistic, but I heard on the news, and I know it's bad to have the news on, that several millions of women are actually leaving the workforce right now. I mean, I just got a email today from Landon's pre-AP geography teacher saying that she's out of there after this week. So women are leaving. I mean, and she said, I've enjoyed my 9 years here, but teachers don't just get up and leave in the middle of the year unless there's a reason. So women they're leaving in by the millions of what they're doing. So there's a place for them in Mary Kay, and women will never ever stop using skincare. I mean, yeah, I've got my makeup on tonight, and a lot of times, we have our makeup on, makeup off days, but we never stop using our skincare morning and evening, and so many things are being done virtually right now. I mean, I literally have so much more time than I did. So that's something that would be super appealing in my mind. Appointments don't take but a few minutes. We have a 5-minute appointments that we do, and you virtually can, even if you're working another full-time job, doing a little side gig on the side with Mary Kay virtually, you're not having to run across town, run back across town. Get, you just have to look good from here up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pajamas on. So I just think there's a lot of opportunity out there right now.
That's good stuff right there. And I totally concur that I don't think there's ever been a better time to be self-employed, that you're not required to go into work with all the safety issues and concerns that people are having right now. I love the fact that we get to work this kind of at our own pace, and we're building empires at our own dining room tables. And I don't think a lot of other women are, as Troy already told you, at least you like what you do. And I think there's, as you have already mentioned, there's a lot of people pulling away from what's out there and moving to, there's got to be something better for me and my family. And especially with trying to instruct, I don't think we instruct school, because I certainly know I don't, but monitoring, I've got a 15-year-old at home. I'm trying to figure out how do I facilitate school. So that's really important. And I don't know that that's changing any time. I mean, maybe I pray it is, because I think it's better for them to be in school. But I do think that what a blessing it's been for me to be able to do my business right here, and I didn't have to figure out some of those hard questions.
Okay, so like what you just said, last semester, he's in school 5 days a week now, but last semester, that's not how it was. And I do not know how working mommies did it last semester. I thought I was going to pull my hair out, and I was here like on top of things. And he's a straight A advanced student. So I was very grateful, even though I wanted to pull my hair out, that I was here and I had that opportunity to be able to do that. And I think you were telling us the other day that the skincare industry over the next few years is going to hit, what did you say, 23
billion.
Billion.
So, yeah, billion. Yeah.
The billion
is expanding rapidly because, once upon a time, our industry was cosmetics as well as skincare and anti-aging. And so they're basically separating those two a little bit. So it's going to be skincare and anti-aging, and then color and what we call boutique items, so fragrances and things like that. And just, it used to all be about a $19 billion industry. And now when they're separated they're seeing such a huge growth in skincare and anti-aging that between now and 2023 will be a $23 billion industry just on its own. And we're seeing growth and advancement in those areas instead of shrinking opportunities, which we're seeing in some of the other industries. So yeah, it's a great time to be in the skincare business for sure. Well, Lisa, thank you so much for coming tonight. Thank you for being our hostess with the mostest and just opening your heart and your experiences. And I can honestly say you're one of the funnest people I work with, because you're number one, you've got a great attitude, you've got a great sense of humor, and you do love what you do. And I think that comes through. I think women we know genuine versus not genuine. And you are the real deal for sure. So I want to say thank you for being with me tonight. And thank you just for sharing your story.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I'm going to let you off the screen real quick, and then I'm going to wrap things up for everybody. So good night, sweet girl.
Bye.
Okay, guys. Well, you know what? I love just peeking into somebody's life and what they love about the business. And as she shared right there at the end.
Oh, well, I don't know what happened to Jill, but I will go ahead and, unless she pops back on here and close this out, I do know that in Mary Kay, I always share with women that Mary Kay is like a pie. You can have a piece of the pie, a bite of the pie, half the pie, or the whole pie. The choice is up to you. And we are looking for women who we're looking for women who know that God meant for them to have more. We're looking for women who get excited about changing other women's lives. We're looking for women who can embrace Mary Kay's philosophy of God first, family second, career third. We're looking for women who have integrity. We're looking for women who don't mind the four-letter word, WORK. And finally, we're looking for women who like to play on a team and want to win. So if that sounds like you, we totally would love to welcome you into our circle of influence, into our Mary Kay family. And just for tonight, if you decide within the next 24 hours that this is just something that you would like to give a shot, you guys, if I had not said yes, my life would not be the same today. So if you want to just give it a shot, then you will earn, I don't have it sitting in front of me, but you would earn a charcoal mask. Okay, so from your consultant or her sales director. So anyways, thank you for being on tonight. We love you. We appreciate you. And I really don't know how to turn myself off because this isn't being done from my end. So hopefully they can figure it out from there. So you guys make it a great night. Love you and appreciate you. Mwah.